Today we're going to check out this brand new Sonoff CAM Pan-Tilt 2, and we're going to liberate it with the Thingino open source firmware. What's up guys, it's Josh from the WL Tech Blog. Today we're going to take apart this Sonoff CAM Pan-Tilt 2. We're going to install the Thingino open source firmware on it, and we're going to see if this is a good deal or not. Before we get started with the cam, why don't you go ahead and go down to the bottom of the video and hit that thumbs up button. Consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help us out a lot. We're getting close to that 5,000 subscriber mark, and you can help us get there. Now before we talk about this particular model, if you're new to the Thingino project, let me tell you a little bit about it. Thingino is an open source firmware replacement for cameras that are built with Engenic processors. These are very common in the more affordable range of IP cameras, and there's a lot of familiar faces there, including brand names like Wyze, ONVIF, obviously Sonoff, and a lot of others. When you install the Thingino firmware, you remove yourself completely from the manufacturer's ecosystem. No more subscriptions, no more cloud services, no more worrying about who's looking at your video. We support open protocols like ONVIF and RTSP, so you can easily integrate with your own local software. That can be anything from Home Assistant, to Scripted, to Frigate, to even closed-sourced alternatives such as Unify Protect. We also have an up-and-coming internal project called Light NVR that I encourage you to take a look at if you're looking at hosting your own NVR locally. The project has been around for just over 2 years. We've seen tremendous growth. We're constantly adding new features, improving existing ones. On some devices, switching to Thingino is a one-way street. Unless you're using a flash programmer and disassembling the camera, you're not able to easily go back to the factory firmware. On this model, it is easy to go back, so you can give it a try without worrying if you decide not to stick with it. Alright, well let's jump over to the bench and have a look. Alright, here we are over at the bench. Now when I did the first Sonoff camera, I did the Cam Slim 2nd Gen, and that was my first Sonoff device, and I wouldn't say I was completely enamored with it, but it's kind of grown on me. And I tell you what, this is camera number 3 from this brand, and they have been a good, reliable brand. That's something we don't always necessarily get. We have a lot of brands where I might buy one and it has a supported processor, it has a particular image sensor, everything's good to go, and then somebody else goes to Amazon or AliExpress and buys one themselves, and it's got something completely different on the inside. This hasn't happened with Sonoff. On top of that, we were able to find a backdoor into their system that allows us to do a no tools install. So you're able to flash to Thingino, and if you wanted to flash back to factory, you can do that as well, using nothing more than a specially prepared SD card. So I've got an installer for that. I'm going to show it to you in a little bit. First, let's get this cam out of the box. Now this is brand new. I have not taken this out of the box yet. You know, I try not to rip the box when I take it out. Here we go. Now here's something I've seen with Sonoff that I don't see with other brands. They actually give you some 3D printable parts that you can print out yourself for accessories instead of having to spend, like Wyze Cam, they've got a bunch of little pieces of plastic you can spend $12 or $15 on that do essentially the same things that you're able to print here. So I really like that. Let's get this out of the box. All right, original box can go away. Here's our accessories kit. Let's see what all they give us. I've been noticing a trend with devices not giving us USB power bricks, and it looks like the Sonoff follows that trend. So we get a USB-C cable, which is almost certainly only power, will not have data run on it, and we get the camera itself. We get a mounting plate and some screws and wall anchors, and we get a sticker for being able to space those properly. But what we're really here for is the camera itself. Let's go ahead and pop this guy out. All right, now this is a fairly common format, although it is a little bit different looking from most. It doesn't have a hat, it doesn't have a top on the ball here, but it is your normal indoor pan-tilt 2 megapixel camera. The first thing we're going to do is get this thing flashed to Thingino. Now you're going to need a micro SD card. I use 32 gig cards. Smaller is generally better. There is a size that's too big for these things to recognize properly. I don't know exactly where that is, but I use 32 gig. And we're going to use the Raspberry Pi Imager software. This software is supported on Windows, Linux, Mac, so you should be able to use it on just about anything. This laptop has a full-size SD, so I've got an adapter. Let's go ahead and switch over to our laptop screen. All right, now the first thing you need to do is jump over to the Thingino installers repo, which I've got linked down below. We're going to click on the Sonoff PT2, and you see there's a zip file here. Go ahead and click on that. Then on the right, there's a download raw file button. Go ahead and click on that to get the actual zip file downloaded. That'll only take a couple of seconds. Then we're going to switch over to Raspberry Pi Imager. Here we go. Now, first thing you're going to do is go to the Choose OS, and it's got a bunch of presets there for Raspberry Pi devices. Scroll that down to Use Custom, and that's going to let you select your zip file. Just jump over to your Downloads folder and grab the zip file that you just downloaded. Then select your storage, pick your SD card from there, and hit Next. You do not want to do any customizations, that doesn't work. And it'll prompt you for admin privileges. Then it'll start writing the file. The file is only a little more than 8 megabytes, so it doesn't take very long to write. Then it will automatically verify it. Then it'll tell you that you're safe to pull it out. All right, we've got our flashed SD card. And to insert it, you give this thing a little tilt back, and the SD card slot is on the bottom here. And it only goes one way, which you'll figure out the third time you do it. There we go. Got to push it in pretty far. Click. All right, now the power cord they give you with this is about 6 feet long, which is pretty nice. We're going to power it from our laptop here. Now, once we plug it in, this is going to automatically flash the firmware. We'll see if we get any kind of activity indication on the front of the device while that's happening. Here we go. Plugged. Now we are doing this in real time, so this will take about the same amount of time when you do it as it's taking in this video. So I know there's some pauses, but that's what it takes. Now, unlike some of the other installers, this one actually flashes after it boots the factory firmware, so it takes a few more seconds and you get the motor seek before anything else happens. So right now what it's doing is that it's taking a backup of your factory image. This is required if you ever want to go back to the factory firmware. There are some unique keys that are in your specific image that prevent you from being able to just get a generic replacement image. So definitely hang on to that, back it up someplace safe. It'll be on the SD card when the firmware flash is done. Now this camera does have a 16 megabyte flash, so it takes twice as long as some of the other cameras. It does, however, give you some additional flexibility if you wanted to install additional packages on the camera, or if you're interested in trying to participate in development, that extra space can come in real handy. All right, I see we have our blue light. I believe that means we're in the Thingino bootloader. I just heard the IR click. There is the motor sweep. All right, and now it's done moving. We're going to go ahead and grab our phone, and we're going to see if we get our provisioning network. You should have a network that starts with Thingino. It may take a few seconds to appear. Now, I'm not sure if it's the cam or just my phone, but it took a little extra time on this one for the Thingino network to come up. If yours does the same, don't worry, it'll get there. There we go. All right, and once you're connected, it may or may not prompt you to log into the network. If it doesn't, go ahead and disable your mobile network on your phone, open up your browser, and we're going to punch in 172.16.0.1. That will take you to the provisioning portal. Now here you're going to put in your root password. That's what you're going to use to log into the web interface, or if you want to log in using SSH. We're also going to put in our Wi-Fi credentials and make sure on this one that you are using a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi network. Let me go ahead and punch those in. And on the next page, it'll ask you to review and make sure everything looks good. If so, you hit proceed, which I've just done, and it'll take you to this screen. Now the camera is going to save the settings that we just added, and it's going to reboot. So we're just going to wait a moment. It's about to do the sweep again. Let's go ahead and peel this thing off if we can do it quickly enough. All right, now we get a good image. Once it comes up, you can also remove the SD card once it's done booting up. It is no longer used for anything unless you're doing local SD recording. Just wait till it's done with its little dance. There we go. This part's kind of silly. They recessed the SD card slot so far. In there. There's no way I was going to get it back out with just my fingernail. We're going to use a tool. I don't have enough fingernail to push this thing in. There we go. All right, now that it is up, go ahead and tap the button here.
IP address is 192.168.82.158.
All right, now we know how to access it. Let me go ahead and pull that up on my phone. All right, when you type it in, you're greeted with the login page. Username is root, and the password is the password that you configured in the last screen. And once you've entered it, you should see yourself on the preview screen. Now, the preview screen is not a live video. It is a stream of images. This is not normal performance for what the camera's doing. For that, you want to use our TSP or ONVIF with a NVR or a video player. So now you're good to go with your new Thingino device. Let's real quick have a look and compare this against a few other devices. All right, so I put together just a real quick slideshow with a couple other cameras that I feel like are the direct competitors of this one, at least in the US market. I've only included a couple cameras that are reliable purchases where you have a high degree of sureness that if you buy one, you're going to get what you expect. They're also well supported, and they all have no tools installers that you can use, so you don't necessarily need to disassemble the unit. So here, of course, we have the Sonoff that we just flashed. This one uses the Encoding T23N processor. This is their baseline processor these days. It has H.264. It does not have H.265 encoding. It has the SmartSense 2336P, which is a very common 2 megapixel sensor. It has the AltoBeam 6012BX, which is a pretty common Wi-Fi that also includes Bluetooth. There are some Bluetooth related features that are going to be coming out in Thingino soon, so this might be something that you will eventually find useful. The 16 megabytes of flash mean that you have some extra room for adding additional packages. And currently the price on Amazon for this unit is $21. Let's go to our next one, which is the Sonato D1 2K. This is a very popular model, mostly because of price. It has the same T23N processor as the Sonoff. It has the SC2331 image sensor in the current generation that they're selling. They previously had the 2336P that the Sonoff has. It has the AltoBeam 6012BX Wi-Fi, the same as the Sonoff. It has 8 megabytes of flash, and it is currently $13. This one, the price ranges from about $15 down to right around $10. I've even bought one for about $9.50 before. This is a nice device with nice features at a nice price, but we're not going to pretend that it has the same level of build quality as some of the more expensive devices. One nice thing about it is you can open it most of the way up with just your hand and no tools, but again, you don't need tools to install Thingino on it. Now, finally, we have the WOOC. This is the Y0510. This one is still my personal favorite Thingino device. This has the T31X, which is the higher end processor from Encoding. It does have H.265 encoding as well as H.264, and it has twice as much memory as the T23N. It has the SC401AI image sensor, which is a 4 megapixel sensor. It is notably crisper, and in good lighting environments, the image really looks outstanding. It has the SSV 6158 Wi-Fi, which does not have Bluetooth. It has 16 megabytes of flash and costs around $37. These are all indoor devices with pan-tilt and the same basic feature set, other than the image sensor being 4 megapixel on the WOOC. Now, I do have links to all of these down in the video description, so make sure to check those out if you're interested. It is Amazon. Prices do fluctuate, but they're going to be within the range that I gave you here. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for the Sonoff Pan-Tilt Indoor Cam 2. My opinion on this one, it's a pretty good deal at $21 if you're looking for something with a little better build quality than what you get on the Sonato. Of course, my favorite cam remains the WOOC. If you enjoyed this video, make sure and give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel. If you've got any questions or comments, put them down below. If you're interested in the Thingino project, or you're a fan of open source and hobbyist electronics, come check us out over at our Discord channel. The link for that's down in the description as well. I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, take care, everybody. And as always, stay fresh, cheese bags.